Hello, everybody. It's Yuri today with you. And let me ask you a question. How many times today you feel that emotion? I can say we can name it fear. And how many times you recognize it? It means like you know that it's fear. And this is a basic question, but it leads to some very important skill of emotional mastery. And stay with me for a little bit. If you interested about this, can you imagine you be able to not react, but create the life on your turn? Especially right now, when life full of uncertainty about economics, about war, about what's going on in social media and AI, all of these create some kind of tension, and we can react from it. And in many cases, this didn't lead us to make good decisions. So let me talk to you not as a holistic doctor and transformational coach with many years of experience. Let me talk to you as a person who also feel fear on everyday basis. And it's not about like fight this feeling. It's about to learn how to use it. And most of all, it's important. Can you imagine how your life looks like in the area of health, in area of your craft or your business, in area of your relationships? How it will affect your life if you be able to master this feeling of fear and not react uh, in the in the level of instincts, fight, fright, or freeze. If you be able to make a decision, use that feeling, use fear as a tool. And this workshop about that. And I prepare for you some slides. You will not stare in a talking head, and AI tools helps me to make it looks nice. So enjoy it and let me know how it goes. Subscribe to my channel and give me some feedback, leave me some note, and let's move on together. Before we will move deeper, I want to ask you to work out it with me. What it means. I can share with you some stories from my life or my clients, without names, of course, to respect, private information. This is how it should be. But I can share something that attached to my life very deeply and how it shapes me. But it's not the whole point. The whole point that you will be able to see your life through this lens. With all of these practical questions that I prepare for you, I ask them on everyday basis. Right now, they becomes not even visible for me. So it's automatically going, and it gives me the level of certainty in uncertain world. And believe me, it helps to move on through many different challenges in life without reaction. It don't mean that life will getting perfect. It's always will be bumps on the road, and some of them can be very painful. And fear will be always there. How you will use it. In many areas of life right now, you can have this feeling. And my question, first, in which area of your life the fear driving you? And it's create some feedback inside even your body that makes you play small because you want to be overprotected, or it makes you destroying things because you becomes overreacting. Because all of these states, when we call talking about anger or depression, This is a pattern that my teacher Tony Robbins explained, the crazy eight pattern. When we can stuck, it can be created just from that emotions of fear, that thoughts, that something that we start uh, over explaining to ourselves, predicting something based on our past experience. So this is very important to see how fear serves you and not try to kill you or try to manipulate you. As a tool, it can be very powerful. I remember first time in my life, now I see how it shapes me overnight. Because when my father was killed, I was 12. And before his death, I was not the strongest guy in my grade in school, but I was always protector for other people, for other kids. I always be able to stand up. Guys tries to fight me in the teams, in the groups, because one-on-one it was impossible. And of course, I have some physique because my father was a trainer and he helps me to develop some skills. He was very intellectual guy. He works with computing in the beginning of 90s, but at the same time, his childhood when he grew up without father after Second World War shapes him. Like he explained that streets shapes him. So he passed it to me, and I feel so much confidence, so I be able to step up for myself, for kids. But after his death, something shift inside me, and it's creates inside me some very deep emptiness, and I stopped believing myself. And even when I make a decision that I need to become strong guy, I will become even stronger, learn even more to protect my mom, to protect myself, to protect on everyday basis people who I love. Even with these achievements, different ones, fear always drives me. And even during my night dreams, I had some feedback from my body. So if I will ask you right now, when you first time feel this emotion in your life and how it shapes you, because in neurological perspective, when we're talking about biology, Robert Sapolsky explained it perfectly that amygdala creates some kind of effect that lead us to make some very quick decisions. We're talking about reptile brain when we need to fight or freeze. In many situations in our life, we need to act like this, like very quickly, especially when it's on the road, especially something like happens on the road, and we need to make a very quick decisions where to turn or make another call or something very quickly. In the country where I'm from Ukraine, right now, on everyday basis, bombing, like every day, missiles, attacks, and even 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 kids feeling that on everyday basis, not just adults. Kids like feel it, and they can carry it all life from these days that they're experiencing going through this bombing. And parents, of course, they need to care about themselves and kids to bring them to the shelter. But and this moment when the fear can help us to make fast decisions. But what happens when even after we take action and get ourselves to the safe place? What's happening in our minds? And this is what's happening. What's the difference between us and animals? That we continue creating stories, and they based on some situation that really happens. So it can be fact, but it didn't mean that it will happen tomorrow for sure, or it will happen next minute. But the nervous system continue living this. And if you not be able to master it, it will be just destroyful for your health, for your business, for your life. When we're talking about some reflections that we can live by when it starts just from some nervous response, when we're talking about our instincts. So the questions, some situations can appear, and do they really dangerous for us? Or it's just a story that we're telling ourselves based on some previous experience. And some of that experience, we don't even question it anymore. And we just believe in it just because we experience it. Most of the people don't even rethink and re-ask themselves about what they're feeling right now and why. When you be able to see the difference between the situations, how they really are, not worse than they are, not better than they are, that just how they are, it will give you power back. So you will not just react, you will be able to make decisions. And I remember um, time when it was few years ago when bombing happens in the Kiev. It was 2022. Right now, it still happens. But in that days, my mom was in the bomb shelters in the basements. She's hiding with part of my family. And I was on the different part of the world, working hard to prepare everything to rebuild my life because I moved before pandemic to looking for other solutions for my business, for my life in different places. So that days I remember I was very scared because of her life. Do I be able to influence war situation, Russian invasion across the borders, and just make all of that happens? Of course not. But what I can really influence, it's my state, and I be able to pass it to my mom when I have the opportunity to talk with her via phone, via video. I be able to pass her that feeling that right now you in the safe place, say thanks God, and let's take care about our nervous system regulation. Why I did that? Not because I was knowledgeable about that, because I practiced it many times before, many years, create different programs of for people to heal themselves. And my first practice uh, was when I was maybe 20 years old, young practitioner doctor who working with stroke survival people in the center, and I was honored to work them with them at home. So it was about fighting fear and recreating identity. It was a lot of different tools in psychology and healing. So I be able to practice it, but it don't mean that fear never visit, always visit, because life brings you different challenges. And I want to ask you right now, because your life very packed with different situations, and some of them, many of them, you will not be able to influence at all. So how you be able to focus on some things that you are power to change, make them better, so make some progress in it, and how you be able to uh, make them work better, and which things are just fear-based, you not be able to influence them, and it don't mean that the thoughts will never come, the fear will never come, but you will be able to manage it. What is the real danger? What is the things that I needs to avoid really it's necessary to do right now? And which one is just a fear? Fear itself who give you some message. And when you be able to acknowledge it on everyday basis, this is when you will get your power back. It's very important to start practicing as soon as possible. And please let me know how it reflects to you, how you feel about that, to be able to see when it's a real danger situation, when it's just my thoughts. Very important thing when we be able to process during our day different situations from the perspective of I feel fear. Okay, where does it come from? And what really I be able to do with it? Because our ancestors, when we're talking about like 1,000 years ago, of course they fight many different challenges because it was life and death situation right now, like right now in the war zones. And the difference between animals and us humans, we be able to see reality and really make a decision what we need to act right now, what kind of action we need to make. Many people, and I remember the days when I was just lived by fear. I want to say one more time, please see me as a regular human being who faced fear many times. I remember just recently, before my son was born, I have a very huge fear that I will not be able to see him. And because, to be honest, uh, even if you become a father by having information that that your woman become pregnant, you don't really have 100% sure that you will hold your baby. Because of course, many situations can happen, but when you are not even close to the mom of your baby and your woman, she just decide something to do. She will keep the baby or not. And the message that I get from the mother of my son devastate me. And I start seeing nightmares, spiders and scorpions on the night dreams. They visit me because I not be able to do nothing with it. But I show 100% my presence and I that I will do everything in my power to be able to support her in this uncertain situation that we go through in the days. But it was very scareful time. And I know that many of situation in your life right now, when you're going through, you not really know what will happen tomorrow. But do you be able to see differences between your nervous system respond, like your instincts that you just scared, and give yourself a space to make a choice? how you will react, what I will do in this situation right now. Because chronic survival mode based on fear, always overthinking, always try to control, always try to make sure. It will keep you stay awake without even opportunity to get a good rest during the nighttime or when you want to get a nap. And this is very important. It's crucial because can you imagine your nervous system never stop worrying only because you reinforce it with your thoughts? I don't say that we need to just live in the beautiful world with some hallucination glasses, using some adaptogens and don't care about what's going on around. Some people try to escape their life like that. I know that it didn't work because I have a professionals who reach me out right now who didn't make through a lot of challenges in life, losing their families, their loved ones, their their parents, their kids, and it's very hard to move on through all of these challenges. I know how it is. I know when you are processing still something that happened in the past, in specific today, presence, and you telling yourself a story, and your nervous system just respond very quickly. You'll not be able even make a decision because your part of the brain, when we're talking about neocortex, frontal lobe, it's just blocked because you overreact. What part if you're in your life right now affected by chronic stress so much that you'll not be able to even think about that in peace and make a decision from your creativity, from your peaceful state, from a state of power that you be able to influence it, and in which way? Answer this question, please. And if you need some time, of course, take it. Pause this workshop. Use these screenshots for like applying your AI tool that will help you. ChatGPT, Gemini, Grok, no matter, Google, and process it and make it digestible for yourself. Because for me, most important, it's how you will use it today. This skill to see where it's fear and don't become your fear. Because this is tool that our nature carry inside us to help us to survive. But it's never makes us happy, joyful, even never put us in creativity state. So you will not be able to even see your talents, what you is capable of. Because a lot of things on everyday basis will be just from survival, just reacting. And many people try to suppress this feeling. Because when you be able to see fear, it don't mean that you escape it. It will be always there. But you will have a courage to move on. You will be living with fear, but not inside it. It's a big difference. How you be able right now to feel fear and not become a fear. It means not fight, not run away, not freeze. When you become observer. Because I know that Eckhart Tolle explained in his work, when we're talking about Power of Now, his book, that plays between some event, some stimulus and you respond, this is called awareness. So when you be able to see your fear and experience it as a messenger, it's no longer your master. You're not longer just reacting. You have this sweet spot of few seconds to make a decision. And can you imagine that less than 1% of population of the earth master it? It does not mean that people bad or good. Can you imagine most of the people just react because they don't know that fear, just a visitor, just a messenger, just something that live in our nervous system, in our DNA, in our gut, in our instincts. And many people just react from that feeling. But you can make another choice if you want to. I'm not somebody who will coach you or teach you what to do. But can you imagine you be able to master it? How it affects your life? Many times in my life, I ask myself a question. How fear can support me today? In which cases it gives me opportunity to make a quick decision. In which cases it can helps me to see and be aware when it's dangerous that I will uh, make a very quick decision and it will be not good. How I can balance it? And the answer comes from my teacher, Tony Robbins, and his famous word that we can hear many times, change your expectations to appreciation. When you be able to see your fear, feel it, that it's a part of your nervous system, we're talking about reptile brain and amygdala. When you be able to process it through your heart to see when it's real danger and you need to really fast acting, or when it's just a story that was created by you, by other people, some circumstances, and you be able to focus on something that meaningful for you, that really matters. This is how you are choose how to act. How it will change your life when you will stop reacting from fear and you will choose compassion, love, courage, because this is a courage. It's a real courage to be able to see your fear and not become it. Many times we see how people react. They scream and we think like, oh, maybe they are brave or they are making a quick decision and run or hide. And it also looks like a wise action. Or they tell you, be careful, please, I'm worried. And it looks like people care, people love us. But what if many of this action is just a fear-based? And this is instincts. This is something that lives in our gut. Many people just follow it. Just yesterday, I interviewed one of my friends. I know him many years. He is an entrepreneur, and he carry a diagnosis, very hard one for many people. It's impossible to live like that. The doctors give him like 2 years of living. His name is Alex, and before he get a transplant of kidney, he lived without two kidneys because of some accident that happens with him in 2000. And he lived 26 years from that day, breaking all rules. And one of the questions that I asked him, what you are doing right now? Because he living in the city, capital of Ukraine, that bombing on everyday basis, ballistics, different bombs and different rockets, and it's uncertainty completely, like just on every 24/7. And he said, I'm focusing on things that really matters. And I know that fear inside me. I feel it. I really feel it. It's scary, but I choose what I want to do right now, what is really matters. And he told me about his wife, his daughter, other people, his environment, his mission, his work, his business, that how he helps other people. And it's not a weakness at all to be able to sit with the fear and not react, because many people can misunderstood what's our gut and our instincts tell us. What if it's just a message from survival mode? How your life will change, what changes happens in your relationships, in your health, in your wealth, if you be able to master your state and act from wisdom. This is very interesting point, that you not wake up with a feeling, I'm scared. You're not walking on the street or driving car with this feeling of fear. You not say to yourself, I am fear. You can say to yourself, I'm worried. I'm losing control. I'm curious about, and you start scrolling hours and losing even time. Or I need to figure out things. This is my plan, and after that next plan, and after that next plan. And you over sitting in the collecting data, information, creating plans, and never act. All of that can be based on fear. I don't say that it's a useless. Can, hear me, please. All of these actions, when they based from love, compassion, empathy, really what's matter, some good for you and greater good for others, all of that actions, success and breaking through and care about others and doing all of these things, uh, it's just a different perspective. Be aware of which mask from your side fear can be wearing today. When you be able to see it inside you, you'll be able to see it in others. How it can affect your actions on everyday basis, when you be able to see it not only inside you, when you will be able to see other person acting, they screaming right now, or they in depression, or they sad, or they never stop talking. They always running somewhere. They overreacting. Maybe it's based on fear. Sometimes we can even looks very successful, but deep inside us, we're scared, lose control, that we will not be have enough attention, that we will feel that we're not enough. This is one of the biggest fear that my teacher Tony Robbins explained, that every person feel it, no matter which level of success, which level of power we have. If I will be not enough, I will be not being loved. And this is a very powerful, rooted in our DNA when we was kids. Do you be able to see it, how it's drive your life right now? on the level of instincts, on the level of your gut, and you don't need to become this reaction, this pattern of just fight, flight, or freeze. Many, many posts, many figures telling about instincts. It's a driving force. You need to become a lion, or you will kill, or other kills you, or you will uh, become a king, or you will become a slave. All of that noises can create the feeling that we needs to follow our instincts. Fight, flight, or freeze. What kind of identities creates? Because we create something meaningful as a human beings, like a wisdom, like a compassion, some values, some purpose. All of that keeps relationships better, businesses better, our health better. Because of that, we be able to create a better future. This is why we needs to focus more how I can become more human. Understand that I have my instincts behavior that uh, carry my protection. That fear actually wants to serve me, wants to protect me from something that can be dangerous, that I need to avoid. And my mind always will create some stories and some visionary, some things. Do I be able to see it, really be acknowledged, and just switch in the way where I want my focus go? Because this is the biggest difference between reaction and creation life on your own term. If you be able to ask yourself today, how I can become more human and not just react, to create my values and live by that, to create my purpose and live by it, not just reflect, but create, open up my full potential. It don't mean that you are give up or become a weak person. When somebody scream, yell on you, and you not fight back, in many cases, in many cases, this is the difference between person who really scare and fight you, pick a gun. It don't mean that you need to just let them do what they want. You can make a decision. You can protect yourself and loved ones. And at the same time, come back home and not be in survival mode. Hug loved ones. Take care about your clients. Really with compassion and empathy without all of these animal instincts. Why are we comparing ourselves to animals? Because nature can teach us a lot of beautiful things. And we can mimic many of them right now in technologies, for example. But you know how our instincts can lead us if we give a fear and reaction just drive our life. Think about that. Think about that from that perspective and ask yourself how I can become more human today and live by my values. This is very deep things that we can master. We be able to see our instincts and we be able to see our purpose and mission. We'll be able to see where our something happens inside us and it's just a messenger from fear, and we'll be able to make a decision what I want to do right now, what I want to say right now. And we'll be able to make a selection very quick. More often you practice it, more mastery become of it. And why I'm inviting you in the beginning, not just intellectually understand it. I ask you to participate as an explorer of your own emotions and where fear live inside you and how it affects your life. This is about that. Between intellectual understanding and mastering, this is a gap. We can call it practice. And my teacher, Tony Robbins, many times teach about that. Many people stuck in the intellectual understanding. What, huh, what the point to learn psychology, psychiatry, neurobiology, coaching, all of the things and still live in survival reactive mode? What the purpose of that knowledge? They even makes you even more miserable. You even more looking for explanation why it didn't work, why life it's not fair, why people continue betraying you, why all of these war happens and diseases and people behavior nonstop bringing you different things because of intellectual perspective we can explain a lot of things, but it's never give us experience and awareness. We'll not be able to build this deep awareness leadership for ourselves. And I'm inviting you to this emotional mastery journey. It's worth it. It's worth it to be able to create life on your own term. So, the whole purpose of this workshop that I learn from my life, losing my best friend in 11, losing my father at 12, many times worry about life of my mom during pandemic, during war when it starts, when I scared to death that I will not be able to see my son because he will not never will be in this body in real life. All of that teach me that fear will visit you on everyday basis in some situations, in news, in your thoughts, but you not don't need to become your fear part of your reaction. Just fight, just run away, just freeze and hide. You can be a more aware and become a more human. You don't need to fight your fear. It can be a passenger, but will never drive your steering wheel. Can you imagine how your life will transform if you will be aware about fear but not live it? This is a thought that I want you to leave this workshop with when you turn on your laptop, your phone, no matter where you participate from which device, how my life will change when my fear will be present but never will drive in my life. And I just don't want to leave you with this workshop itself. I want to give you some present, and it's a practical tool. You can get it via link in my bio or scan this QR code. It's Ultimate Reset Guide based on 5 life force tools: mastering your emotions, mastering your focus, building energy in your body, vitality that helps you to live on an everyday basis, art of relationship, and of course, creating awareness of yourself leadership and build your passion and your mission, your purpose. This is something together gives you very pivot ground. It can be one of the supporters for you today. And if you want to go deeper, please join my free community. Powered by School Garmozi, I create some workshops there and put them in different uh, sessions with workbooks and with trackers that you can go deep and practice on everyday basis just during your busy schedule. Just find a few moments and and give yourself a space to build this emotional mastery. Because first of all, if you're here on this live watching this workshop, it means you are curious. And I want to invite you to go deeper and support each other. We can build better future just with mastering our emotions. Can you imagine how your life will looks like when you will create the life on your turn without reaction, but with awareness? This is called freedom. And thank you very much for your time. One more time, leave you with this question. How your life will looks like if fear will no longer drive you? See you soon. Let me know, please, by message, find me on social media, or just drop a comment under this workshop. I will be very appreciative for your feedback and how this tool of mastering your state helps you in your health, in your relationship, or in your business. Thank you very much for your attention, and bye.